The fate of the Zaporizhzhia Nuclear Power Plant is once again in jeopardy. Ukraine said Russian authorities are evacuating personnel from the facility and may be planning to blow it up. The nuclear power plant is the largest in Europe. Since seizing control of the plant last year, Russian troops used it as a base for their military operations. Over the course of the last year, both sides accused the other of targeting the facility. Now, Ukraine's Military Intelligence Directorate says Russia told workers at the plant to leave the area and go to Crimea. Russian military patrols are also being scaled back. The head of military intelligence in Ukraine said Russia placed mines around 4 of the 6 power units, as well as the plant's cooling pond. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said Russia's plot to blow the plant would amount to terrorism. U.S. Senators Lindsey Graham and Richard Blumenthal introduced a bipartisan resolution last week aimed at stopping any use of nuclear weapons in Ukraine, including blowing up a nuclear facility.
I applaud President Biden for putting on the table that the threat of Putin using a nuclear weapon in Ukraine is real. And our message is to those around Putin that if you do this, if you follow his order, if he ever gives it, you can expect a massive response from NATO, and you will be at war with NATO.
Now, it's important to point out the proposal from Graham and Blumenthal is a resolution, so it would not be legally binding. But the fact 2 high-ranking members of the United States Senate are laying out a case for NATO to potentially get involved in the war in Ukraine, well, that cannot be overlooked. The uncertainty about the plant's future could be a contributing factor into why the Biden White House is suddenly mulling the decision to send Army tactical missile systems, or ATACMS, to Ukraine. The short-range ballistic missiles can accurately hit targets at about 200 miles. They can be fired from HIMARS launchers, of which Ukraine has plenty. ATACMS represent a significant upgrade in both power and range over any other precision-guided weapon Ukraine has at its disposal. Like tanks, fighter jets, and other long-range weapons, Ukraine has been asking for ATACMS since the war began. If the U.S. finally follows through and makes good on the request, then Ukraine would immediately be able to attack Russian targets throughout occupied Crimea and potentially cut the Russian forces in half. With a foothold in Crimea, Ukraine would be in a better position to target Russia's Black Sea Fleet as well. This is all happening while Poland is in talks to send Ukraine the Kongsberg naval strike missiles, a fortuitous bit of timing from one of Ukraine's closest allies. The NSMs don't have as much range as ATACMS, but they can still hit targets that are 124 miles away, whether they're on land or at sea. For more unbiased, straight-fact reporting about the war in Ukraine, be sure to check out san.com.
Thanks for watching. We know that Americans' trust in media is near an all-time low. That is why Straight Arrow News is on a mission to bring you unbiased, fact-based reporting. To make sure that you get the journalism that you trust, like and subscribe to Straight Arrow News below. And to catch all of our content, go to our website, straightarrownews.com.